Okay. Let's go ahead, John.
You're a fucking pedophile. I'm gonna say this right here, right now, and you have every right to be offended if you want. I give zero fucks. We send our children to school to be safe and to learn something. Every day that goes by, I see in the news teachers.
You know what? I would play it because he makes a good point. But he's got that damn music in the background. I don't know what's wrong with these cats doing these lives, or maybe it's the AI. First of all, salutations, salute. All right, Halito, you know what I'm saying? Chema Chukma to my whole day on the thing. All right. I didn't read. I chose not to. I wasn't full of nothing. Smoked me a nice little blunt. I laid back and I was reading. I'm gonna read a couple of them things to you. And I wanted to get through these books, you know, I really do. So we can get on to the next one. So the next ones are even as much as if not much more powerful. And for those who are paying attention, you dig what I'm saying? This individual, Mr. Freedom Stick, I'm not gonna say his real name, Cypress Hill, New York. He's ex-cop, military guy, everything. And I like this guy. This guy is solid. Right here, this is the global indoctrination program to destroy your children's minds of future. This has nothing to do with sexual education. They are bombarding our children with sick pornographic material to split your children's minds. There's nothing educational about homosexual acts that needs to be presented to your children in school. I know 2 hours, we better not be having no teacher, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. See the globalists introduced to indoctrination so that the next generation won't battle them. They'll be battling themselves inside and out. Now, he makes some very, very, I'm going to do a side. And I'm going to send him a message and see if he can restate this without the music. Yes, we've actually, I converse with many of my people. That's how me and Kim used to converse like that. Well, still need be. But I pretty much let everybody know that if you want to pay attention to a brother, go to Kiramil, check him out. When I said there were two distinct people here in Americas, meaning they're fictional South and North, I don't recognize South and North America. I don't, and I never will. And if you haven't been paying attention, you should have picked that up already. Two distinct people. Not Mongol or mongrel. Who are Mongol and mongrel? Well, the Ashkenazi and the people that playing Asian. When this is Asia Superior, we're the true Asiatic people. A lot of y'all got into those black movements and you always heard them very same words coming from these sellouts and these people who would change the narrative several times. From Indian to what was it? Indian to Negro, from Negro to black, from black to colored to Negro. Listen to me. We were never called colored. I don't even know where that come from. I've said that on numerous occasions. I don't like getting caught up in those terms. Now the idiots, because of their racist dichotomy and our anger, which they don't know nothing about, it has nothing to do with war nor violence, but they're ignorant to the reality of our anger, attempting to compare our anger to theirs. That's the reason why I read that last part. They'll be battling themselves. Y'all need to know these things. They have usurped so much of who we are. They really believe in their lies. When you point out their 503(1)C, they don't even look it up. When you ask them what's their blood type, you get a whole shim-sham. In the military, I got to see a lot of that blood type. RH negative, AB positive, blah, blah, blah. A few had O positive, but you know where that comes from? Exactly. And if you don't, look it up. Now, O negative, never seen none of them with it. None of them. Oldest bloodline on earth. O positive is a change based on dietary consumption, all right, and too much of it, and mixing. Serious, y'all. And sometimes O positive is a runoff because of the stress put on the two parents, even if they're O negative. That's right. You heard it first from me. A stress. They want you to believe in their faulty fictional science. And the only science they get good is creating germs and diseases to murder and kill. But their biggest number one job is to convince you in their lies, which is very slow and dynamic, to get you to the point where you're at right now. Every time I go into one of those food places, right, to pick up some fruit or whatever, and it's not the fruit that I remember, I see the fluid shots free. It's funny when they became free in 2019, not medical misinformation. I talked to a whole lot of doctors. I was pre-med. And find out and believe what you want. You dig what I'm saying? And it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. That's like the word niggas. N-E-G-U-S. Whenever I hear people over here using that word, I'm like, are y'all aware of that? The people that ruled Ethiopia, lower and upper, kept the pale skins locked away in Maleke? Niggas. It means something bigger than what you can think. When we talk about Chief Tuscaloosa, we know that he was a giant of a man, damn near 8 and 9 feet tall, melanated. Chief Wahanashuk, many different names. Pocahontas' father. When Mr. Richards, when they saw him, they said, and here come 200 more black devils like him. See, people have a hard time with the ignorance and the story and the compilation of facts over fiction because they don't know facts. Why do I talk about Tartaria? Why do I talk about the giants? The mounds, the fact that they keep digging up mounds because they want to get the giant bones and they want to get into the DNA. Every bone, they instead of leaving things that are passed on regardless of a deluge, mud flood, destruction, whatever. Who would want to go and disturb bones and dig them up? Not us. There's no purpose in it. And every time they dug them up, they would crumble. They would sit there and their rationale was the air. Well, they found many that air wouldn't destroy and they would solidify, petrify, just like the giant trees over here in Arizona. That's right up on these mezzanines when all this land was covered in grass and green and giant trees. And you could see the tree stump the Vatican had to go ahead and create the fiction. And by murdering the man who created the Smithsonian, who wanted the world to know, oh, wow, the old world. Why did they call this the New World? Because they wanted to establish a New World Order. Who are they? The Ashkenazis. Jesus' boat. There's about 12 different boats. You can pull them up for yourselves. A narrative. I want to paint a picture for you. Let me pull this up. I told y'all somewhere, I expressed to some of y'all who have been with me for a while to go and look at the movie Maiden's Tale or The Handmaid's Tale. The book is better than the movie. But the movie, it's a sitcom, had me flabbergasted because I had already read the book, obviously. But when I watched the movie, the thing that grabbed me the hardest was the color, the clothing color. Now, we keep hearing 15-minute cities, but you have not heard uniforms, specificalities. Have any of y'all looked over in North Korea? Have any of y'all looked certain time periods in the 1970s and 80s in Cuba and the prison system? Have any of y'all paid attention to Georgia and St. Louis and all the places, their color codes? People had a hard time accepting pink as masculine because for a long time, in a short period of time, but a long time, we've been made to believe that pink is feminine when it's totally the opposite. Colors have nothing to do with the energy, but a spectrum to which we can't see. We've been cut so far from it. Blue is feminine, baby blue. That light sky blue, feminine energy. The pink, which is the dusk before the night, which most people can't see because of the light conflagration or the poison toxicity of the eyes, all right, it's for the night. It's the male energy. I'm not making this up. So what they want to do by flipping things around, then inverting it by your perception is to pervert it, just like religion. I tell people all the time, read and study to be edified, right? Why? Because there's reality in there, but in order for them to dismiss the truth, they must get you to totally walk away from it and not accept none of it. And in order to do that, they must pervert it and have the actions of the mindless and the soulless carry the orders out. And that's why you have the Inquisition and all this other fraudulent nonsense. And that is a scar on the mark. When I tell you Hebraism is our way of life, and I know we have Negroes, and I say that with disdain and disrespect when I say that word, y'all, who will sit there and sway you another way because they are completely ignorant, but they'll run with black and everything to stay in the now. When I say I don't use that word, it means I don't use that word. I don't care the conversation, who it pertains to, who it's with, or what it's about. I'm not going to use certain words in a conversation. And there are people who are always around me who's got to use black, or they got to use religion, or the Christian, or the Jesus, and this, that, because they can't let go of their goddamn lives. How can you elevate if you're still holding yourself down? Anyway, Handmaid's Tale, meaning behind the colors. First of all, let's get into the first establishment. This is the guild, as far as in Gilead. Handmaids wear blood red. Pay attention. Wives wear Virgin Mary blue. Virgin Mary blue. Pay attention. Marthas wear functional green. That means like Martha Stewart. They take care of everything, make sure everything is set up and being done right. They have been implicated to be in such a situation, a statute. Excuse me. And little girls wear pretty pink with baby bonnets. Yet, however, as June and her husband Luke Bancall, if y'all ever watched that, I like what happened to them anyway. The OT at Fabergé, okay? Watching horror, they noticed their 12-year-old daughter's uniform had shifted from pink to purple. Their 12-year-old daughter had shifted from pink to purple. For marriage. Isn't purple supposed to be royalty? Or scarlet, blue, purplish blue? To take the innocent and to pervert it in a system of perversions. Listen to this. She was being prepared for the next stage of her life, marriage, which we know marriage is a falsitude. It's a narrative and ideology to keep the numbers down. It has nothing to do with the reality because the earth is far, it could be 1,000,000 years, it's far from ever being overpopulated. It's the bastards. And look at these liberals, all these niggas who talking to in these different programs. They got one going on now about the arm brace and all that kind of stuff. When I tell you that these individuals, these Negroes in government, no matter where they at, who want to see you unarmed and everything else, well, what color do you think they are? They're the Marthas. They're a small piece of the puzzle. And they believe that's safe for them. They're the ones that will teach your children, and if they act out differently, if you told them something, will have you all incarcerated or put to death, like in China and North Korea. Once upon a time in the Philippines, they stopped that very quickly because certain people were ending up, you know what I mean? Even by bringing in soldiers of fortune or mercenaries. We have a lot of them on our land. And all y'all run around with these goofy Negroes sitting there, and I say that with disdain and disrespect when I say it. Blacks, niggers, just the dumbest son of bitches walking the planet, our earth. When I say planet, I ain't talking about no ball. Fighting, putting up little videos because they stuck Louisiana, or Texas, Fort Worth, or Dallas, or, just a bunch of stupid North New Jersey, Bronx, goofies. Whether it be Dominican Republic, Haiti, or Jamaica, it don't matter. A bunch of idiots. And you have those who talk good. The people on the other side with stripe seems to be resilient for some reason. But they're doing their best. Unwoman wear gray. That means a sign that they have been stripped of their formal identities. They either cannot have children or are not trusted to fit with the Gilead's new laws. Usually they're taken out and executed. Gray. What does it mean? And I want you to think beyond this. When a person's eyes are grayed over, they're blind usually, right? But what happens? Another sense picks up. I keep telling people, we always talk about 7, 8, 9 senses, right? 6 senses. That is to keep you in a box. When you start paying attention to them senses, you'll start tapping into the truth and the real senses. Close your eyes and walk around your home where you live at. Blind for yourself and walk around. I don't care if you put left stuff on the floor, you stub your toe, walk around and do it for about a half hour, an hour. Every day. Take a shower. I know a lot of y'all wimps. Get and let the cold water hit you. Just do it. I'm not asking. You have to, if they're paying attention, they know now that, okay, there's something we can trigger. We don't want to trigger. They want to slowly kill you. Then you got to trigger it. Now, if you're just too chumpmatic to jump your ass into a cold tub of water, like you're going to freaking die or something. And if that happened, it wasn't meant for you to be here. Now, bottom line, go out to the lake, 58 degrees. Walk your ass out into it and sit down. How many of y'all remember when I did the live on Facebook and I took the camera and everything down there and I walked out and jumped and set my ass in the cold water? And I was doing that every morning. Hadn't gotten sick at all. It was like the water temperature was warmer than the air outside. A little flaky snow. Walked down there in my shorts with my sweats on. Flip-flops, feet cold in the mole. All right, it's about damn near a tenth of a quarter of a mile. The walk is long down to the beach at Wildweed. Set it up, walked my butt out there, just kept going. I wanted to stop and turn around. I realized I was going to come out. I went under. Came up and sat there. Steam is, well, the cold and the mist and everything coming up off of me. And I held myself for about, what was it, 12 to almost 15 minutes. Freezing. Walked up, I couldn't feel my fingertips on my toes. I started breathing and calculating my rhythm. Once I was able to say hey bye and turn it off, and feeling came back to my extremities through breathing, through sound. Breathing sound, you know that? We're not taught that as a frequency, but there's so many disturbing frequencies we don't know no better. Check it out if you're Handmaid's Tale. You might be able to see where it's streaming at. Now, got to put my music back on, if you don't mind. Turn it down a little more. It's very invigorating. Now, I want to read this book here. My apologies for not reading, but I tell y'all, make the donation so I get these books, and everybody's sitting there tight on $5 or $2, and I'm sitting there going, you're not making me rich, people. Well, I got to pull out a couple $100 bills and shake in front of you? I mean, seriously. Is that what you want to see? You want to see a stack of like $5? I'm not here to do that. I like people to do their part and me do my part, all right? Until things coincide somewhere else. Right now, I'm focused on land, I'm drawing things that need to be done. I've even set up the other day, and I drew a greenhouse that can be easily built with 2x4s, still rods, well, rebarb, all right? And then, because rebarb is not that strong, it's very flexible, but the way to pin it up, and it would seem like it's expensive, but it's not, to be very sturdy, and then what to paint the rebar with. It's not like we're going to get stainless steel rebar. I'm not saying it don't exist. But there's sometimes certain things are good. Iron falling is a wonderful thing on the soil. It's very enriching. And to be the under part of this grand structure, like what is it called? It's like octagons all over the place. Anyway, I can't remember the friggin' word. Anyway, it's drawn downstairs. I didn't draw it on grid paper. I just did rough, quick, and the lighting, which way it should face, and what can be held in there, and the fact that it could be built a story and a half in the ground with a ramp walking down to it as to be protected by earth, and then green and grass, even a tree going through the middle. It's phenomenal. The importance of bugs, the radon, the gamma ray from the sun as it moves over us. You know, these things are important. So my mind is elsewhere. It's still reading. But I wanted to read this to you. And they can never be us. It don't matter. If you got the people who sit there on Facebook or they're stuck arguing. I think Facebook got an algorithm. They keep people stuck in these little groups arguing like idiots. And the people I love, yes, you're arguing with these people like an idiot, like you're trying to prove something, and it makes absolutely no sense. And I'm not going to say it to your face, I love you. But I'll say it on the side, and if it applies, if it don't, let it fly. This book is Fritz Zimmerman's, an Encyclopedia of Ancient Giants in North America. Now, Zimmerman, what Ashkenazi wanted to tell you these truths? I know a bunch of good ones who tell you in your face who you are. If you haven't had that moment of truth and validation from them, Now, ain't my problem. You just living in one of the worst fucking places on earth, and you have not allowed yourself to acquiesce a different table with different meat on it. Anyway, this is Southern New York, March 4th, 1890. Okay. Brown County. Large burial mound located in Brown County, Ohio. Let's go here. Okay. Let's go here first. The Nephilim Chronicles. I'm actually wanting to buy that book. Sue, if you could pull it up and put it down there. Amazon, I believe. I know Thrift Books is where I'm getting my stuff. It comes a little longer, but it's a lot cheaper. But yeah, again, that's the Nephilim Chronicles. A travel guide to the ancient ruins in the Ohio Valley. Now, it's 1883. The history of Brown County, Ohio. Mastodonic remains are occasionally unearthed, and from time to time, discoveries of the remains of Indian settlements are indicated by the appearance of giant skeletons. Now, they weren't settlements. They were places of worship and craft, and to teach other ones how to do these things. All right? They weren't settlements. But, you know, from a pale skin, and regardless of what pale skin, they always got inoculated with that ideology, or because he's in that time frame, that period was closer to the time of we got to change the narrative. So let's create a new lie. Anywho, no, I'm clear on this stuff, and nobody want to have this debate or conversation. Anyway, Indian settlements are indicated by the appearance of giant skeletons with high cheekbones, powerful jaws, as we have, and massive frames peculiar to the red man. We know that the French make black skin bleed red, makes a red man. It don't mean pale skin, brown, light red, or this, that, and the other. So they could stow that bullshit. Who left these as the only records with which to form a clue to the history of past ages, as if they were going to find it all there when they were too busy trying to hide it. From the inception. Champaign County. History of Champaign County, Ohio, 1881. Pay attention. The Baldwin Mound. The Baldwin Mound. This mound is located on the top of a hill line between the north and east forks of Buck Creek at their junction. And the Baldwin Mound. They got to name everything, claim everything, and there's nothing there to be named or claimed. But anyway, in their junction, about 8 miles southeast of Urbana. Further excavation disclosed a second skeleton where they got the word urban because it didn't exist until then. 1881. The second skeleton with head toward the west. The bones of the skeleton were very large and strong, and those of the lower limbs in a remarkable state of preservation. Near the hand and lying across the body were the flint heads of 3 spears or arrows. Their position seemed to show that they had been held in the hand by wooden shafts, now molded away. And the upper part of the body had been crushed and distorted to a great extent by the pressure above. It had apparently been placed on the left side and the arrows grasped in the right hand. Removing the earth carefully from this, a third skeleton was seen, its head pointing to the east. This was lying upon its back in measured form, or from, it says form, it should say from, its toes to the top of the head, nearly 6 feet. Now, they keep painting this picture as if they had died naturally. They had died quickly. You can go to Clark County, the replete, with reminders of days of Indian trails, mounds, village sites, and forts, star forts, people. And you can pull that up. Okay, there's a map. It's microfiche. They brought it into digital. Okay, and it'll look like this. Okay. History of Clark County, Ohio, 1881. Half a mile north of this fort is a huge mound, the base of which covers about 1 acre. From this mound, many bones have been exhumed, or of a race of beings differing greatly from the present, and having no similarity of the red man, a mile west of the fort above mentioned. Now, when they say red man, they mean these, well, 1881, they're talking about, it's around that time. They're talking about the pale skin narrative, the $5 engines that will soon be taken over. They weren't talking about us. On the farm of William Allen is an ancient burying ground of an extinct race. The bones taken from this place are much larger than those of Americans, and in many respects give evidence of having belonged to prehistoric people. Remember, everything in the past was big. We were all giants. Oh, every one of us. I'm gonna add something else to this, all right? Springfield, Delhi Republic, Springfield, Ohio, August 23rd, 1887. It's funny how it's 6 years down the road. Scientists are interested in finding today in an excavation, for a sewer on Walnut Hills, a section of human vertebrae petrified of such dimensions as to indicate that they belong to a race of giants 9 feet high. In the standard history of Springfield and Clark County, Ohio, in 1922, other skeletons found in this lateral were those of little children, as indicated by the size of the bones and the thickness of the skulls. Some of the bones were from persons of larger stature. At this point, the interment ranged in depth from 1.25 to 4 feet. As Mr. Altick and Mr. Cusick began excavations at the summit of the mound, funny how they always want to dig up everything. Obviously, they're not of this land, and you've got a bunch of pale skins running around thinking they are. Stupid. Perpendicular shaft was sunk 8 feet square, and 1 foot from the surface. In the black leaf mold, they found a complete skeleton lying face downward in a horizontal position. However, the bones crumbled when they were lifted from the earth, never meant to be touched. They excavated another 6 inches, carefully removing the sand and gravel in order to not injure any deposit they might find. And the material removed was screened so that small objects would not escape their notice. And here they came across another skeleton lying face upward, with only 6 inches separating them. It lay in a sandy mixture, mudslide, and was in better state of preservation than the first skeleton. And while due precaution was taken in removing it, the bones crumbled as they handled them. The shaft was then sunk 18 inches deeper. When 3 more skeletons were unearthed, they were in excellent condition, the bones being firm and hard due to the greater depth at which they found them. One of the skeletons of a female, one was a child, and the other was a male of gigantic stature. As a matter of comparison, Altick held up the femur of the femur people of the male skeleton by Cusick's leg, and it extended 8 inches below his knee. He is 6 feet in height. The ribs of the skeleton had petrified to a grayish slate color, but none would withstand the contact with air. And it goes on, 1909, the centennial history of Cashapp. It's not no fake-ass Native American who are being very disrespectful with disregard to the truth. Now, I already told a couple of my Native brothers I was going to go in. They said, go at it. They motherfuckers are hard at it. Yes, you Native Americans and you fake pale skins who don't even identify with the truth if you are one of us, that your mama or your great-grandmammy had black and Negro on their goddamn birth certificate. But you're too cowardice to go and find that out because there's too many secrets even with you motherfuckers. Because you betrayed us. Let me tell you where that betrayal is going to get you. A whole lot of worse than you could fucking imagine. So anywho, big ass Tuscalero was nothing but a nigga. The big old melanated, long Don Silver, stroking any woman that came along. No, he wasn't about that. But he was a real one, and they feared him. All right? Just like his brother or his cousin. Was his brother? Yes, the real Black Panther. It amazes me, man, that people want to be us so bad, but they can't even respect and uplift the shit that we've been through. You know why? Because it's like a sick perversion within them that just won't allow it. They are so connected to the strife and the Jannah, the Zen, the Zuni, the Jinn. They don't even know it. But they're being held in place because they made a choice. Now, y'all don't have to make that choice. You could be bigger than that. I had this little discussion with this little fake pale skin, thinks he's real smart with the music in the background, telling stories, which I appreciate. But then I told him, man, hold on. Ashkenazis are fake. They're frauds. I don't bite my tongue. That sounds pretty anti-Semitic. You know the motherfucker that created that? Do you know what year this fraud created that? 19 what? He said use it. It'll make everybody stop saying it because they're frauds. The coup d'etats around the world led by them, of us everywhere on this earth. And their siblings who they don't care, they will sacrifice as you see in a heartbeat. When I tell you there's something dark and we know of it, but we also was able to control it, something befell us. Was it a betrayal? Was it a test? Can't say. Well, I won't. I need you motherfuckers to dig deep in yourselves and stop playing. Stop being lazy. Stop acting like you're going to protect and save yourself. Now, I'm going to read all day. I already set it up. I got all my water, my lemon water, my teas. I'm not eating till about 5 o'clock. I want to come on and do this, give y'all a shout out because I love y'all, and tell y'all tribe the fuck up. Things going to move fast, and so are they. Believe me, we're not alone, though. Just got to believe me. That's all I can say. The rest of the world, if they want to see still run around and be fucked up, then so be it. They're not even Aryans, honey. Aryans belong to a melanated dark race. They're not Aryans. Come on, be careful. Be mindful, beloved. Listen to me. Caucasians were a Negroid race. All these motherfuckers, I believe some of these bitches ain't what they appear to be, though. How many of y'all go back and look at them 1920 and 1800 pictures of some of them pale skins and really look real good and close? You ever notice that pictures were really good and they want you to believe these old Western pictures of these yellow, silver, oxide, what you call it? Man, they got pictures better than that. And video. Let's go and have a look. Really, really pay attention. There were giants and there still are. You just don't really, you don't see the real giants because they know up here it's not beneficial or healthy for them because of what's going on and what's been done. Hey, Navi. Hey, Sue. Hey, Tola. Herbo. Y'all just popped up. I want y'all to pay attention to stuff and make it practical, okay? And I'm going to shut it down. And I'm going to be on about an hour and 45 minutes. I want to read another book I got. Leave me alone. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely the signs, the secret influence of the moon, the one I picked up yesterday. This mug the other day, this mug right here, you know me, I got to skim everything I go, I run through. And I started looking at some of these pictures they had. And I said, but the wording, because they're going to use gravitation, this, that, and the other. But then I get to thought. And I'm like, Apollo 23. And I'm looking at the paintings, the horse for the horseman. I'm paying very good attention to what is being displayed. From the magnetosphere to all these different things. The ziggurat, everything. And the fact that they have changed so much. And nobody's paying attention. Just like when I was talking about the Hatha people and the moon, the relationship. Is it? Is the moon a satellite? Well, the sun is too. So are we. The universe is within you. If you could see in you, you could see outside of you what you see in you, it wouldn't look nothing like what we're looking at right now. How many of y'all stare into the blue sky or into the ground and you allow yourself to see that funnel? There's a funnel that comes. It goes down or it goes up. Sometimes it goes straight in a little wave. And it looks like a honeycomb. But there's a whole bunch of them, like a funnel. And you stare until you start seeing these little dots appear everywhere. And now you're not losing your vision. What you're seeing is the element of all the energy and the light around you. Now, if you practice that, they become illuminated like shimmering little tricklets all around you. Now, that's hard to walk into. I've been doing it for so long. So when I'm outside or I decide to go to the window, I got to open the window because the glass is a perverted form of glass that we have. So I open it so I can get the UVs, and then I look into a certain position. And everything else blanks out, and I get my funnel. When I get my funnel, I see it's bluish gray. I can see the lines that could be identified as black, but I don't think they are. And I follow it. It becomes deep to where that's the only thing I see. And then when I start pulling back from the funnel, then I see all these little, like metachlorine, like the Star Wars nonsense, right? And then they start getting reddish, yellow, orange, and purple, like bluish purple. And there's quadrillions of them. And I see the regular picture behind it, but in front of it, it looks like a pixel in my eyes. Then I close my eyes and I start looking at myself. And I start looking at my right hemisphere going, I start telling it, come on, you got to, that's kind of like asking, but telling you got to snap out of it. Come on. And then I start thinking on this side. Literally, I'm focused thinking on this side. And it's uncomfortable. That's how out of tune we are. But by the funnel and seeing, it's all around us. Then I see it's different. Everything looks a little different, almost like a granular picture. Something you would see in the 60s Western. It takes a lot of work to get there. Anyway, these pictures, I'm going to share them with you and everything. They have done a lot to obscure the truth. And then when you think about the individuals like Ingo Swann and all these people, all these Jesuits, all these people of different orders, whose role is to give you information, put a lot of truth with a whole lot of bullshit. The thing is, you can see the bull if you allow yourself to see you. My beautiful women, my beloved brethren. I'm going to see y'all here in a couple hours. Shout out to everybody, and then we're off. Margaret Abrams, I appreciate y'all. Rondo, what's going on, beloveds? Mikey Hill, it's good to be back. Sue and Crew, I like that. I like that so much better. I love that. Navi. Richard Nancy, grand elevations, beloved. Grand elevations. Yes. Why is gay strippers and daycares accepted? It makes no sense. No, exactly. We're going to leave it alone, though. All right? But I just wanted to point that out. We're not going to tolerate that shit. That's when you're going to take your kids out of the school system and fuck their dollars, their fiat, fuck their curriculum, fuck their lives. That's what we do. We take them the fuck out. Get on lazy. I don't want to hear about jobs, this, that, and other, and fucking a job. You know what the job should be? You, the family. And I know what everybody said, well, what are we going to eat? Start germinating, growing shit in your goddamn house and get rid of some of that raggedy ass furniture. What's more important? Sitting your ass at a $1,500 goddamn table and chairs that shouldn't cost a goddamn thing that you shouldn't know how to make, or grow food. I'm about ready to build a chicken coop in this motherfucker. Why? And these strippers being shown in daycares. Yo, handmaid tell was off the chain, right, boo? That's what I'm talking about. See? Yep, I'm a baby maker. That's what I'm here for. That's my fucking purpose, to make strong babies. Hey, Shakira Kurz. Appreciate you. The travel guide to the ancient ruins in Ohio Valley. All right, well, y'all donate a few more. Because I took that $75 I had in there, and I added $85, and I ordered a book that was $130. Listen, man, I hope I ordered it from Thrift Books because it was old. All right, I didn't want this new fake shit. They might have changed something. And I couldn't even tell. It didn't even let me know what revision that one, the new one, because it had a different cover than the old one, which was first edition. So so $5 too much to donate, guys, for real. And don't cash up because they take 40% to a goddamn tax. I don't pay taxes to no fucking body. You know what I'm saying? IRS this shit don't go to the roads or nothing. It goes to these motherfucking rich motherfucking goofy motherfuckers. And corporate interests and shit that I don't give a fuck about. That's been our downfall. Why I want to give something to downfall? Because this system's corrupt. All right? Just sent my donation back. Well, I appreciate it. I'll check it out then, Mikey. I appreciate that, beloved. Yeah, so see how Sue did? See that? Hey, y'all, I'm telling y'all, get some of these books. I'm going to read them. You can read along. I can read while you read along. And if you see something, you can say, hey, Red, I got a question. All right? If that's the case, if y'all say one on that, I'll make sure I check whenever I'm reading to see if anybody say one because they're reading along and they have a question. And if I can respond to that, or if I can alleviate whatever's quandary in your mind, then I'll do so. If I don't, I'll say, hey, look, man, we got to research this. Then that become, you see what I'm saying? Awesome. Hello, Grand Elevations. What's going on, sis? Blessed beloved. All my beautiful women up in here. Herbo! My boy back in New York, Herbo. Oh, your signal sketchy, Navi? Oh, she on the road, y'all. Hey, APJR, what's cracking, family? Yo, I'm going to sign off 45 minutes. I know that the music go a little long, but I wanted to get that out. And like I said, about an hour and a half, 2 hours, be back on here. We're going to get back into reading. We got all the books sitting right here. I'm going to go all through these. The original history of ancient America, the giants, Nephilim, DNA of the gods, all the way down to exposing the exposition, blah, blah, heaven bearers, and so on. And we're going to do, but first we got to read this. Because that's just me. Arthur Kessler, the 13th Tribe, and A Pale Horse. I got other books by other individuals that weren't murdered that tell you who you are as well. But this one is the history of the goddamn Ashkenaz. And the fact that if they want to study biblical, historical, and that's the relevance to why everybody goes, protect the Jews when they're protecting the wrong motherfuckers, all right? It's showing who they are. That if they're from Japhet to Gomer and his siblings, Ashkenaz is right there. Have nothing to do with being Semitic from Shem or anything. And Shem is a Negro goddamn name in the first goddamn place. Prove me wrong. Just because you got a bunch of Quakers and everybody else taking these names on, those are perversions. That's what they are. And I know it. I wish a motherfucker would challenge me with their bullshit. They'll never challenge me. And every time they have, y'all seen what I've done to them. Especially in them little groups. Shut them down. They be like, because they don't know. They're looking at the picture. That's all they look at. You might be half and all that goofy shit in my inbox. Motherfucker, what you talking about? Because you don't know fucking real history, you stupid son of a bitch. You slacker. Who are the two distinct people of North America, period? Well, we are one of them. And my boy Kiramil, a little darker, but if you're a little darker, but yeah, that's the other one. Better wake the fuck up, people. And people like us that were down there, just a little feature different. Chat with y'all in a little bit.